I was out all summer, you know, like I said earlier, with my kids, grandkids, singing this song. And even the 2-year-olds and the 4-year-old, everybody, they all learned it. Then we crossed the border up into Canada, and we started singing it. And once we started, I had to go through at least a verse and a chorus or something, but I'm thinking to myself, I forgot to tell them, there's a Canadian version, you know, up there. It's not California it's like Bonavista to Vancouver Island, from the Arctic Circle to Great Lake water, you know, like that. So I stopped the song, which I'm known to do. Teach all the kids and the grandkids and stuff like that. And we, you know, just to be diplomatic and neighborly, friendly. So we're singing it that way up there, just in time for us to come back across the border. Now I'm getting confused. There's only so much I can deal with. You know, and so I'm singing California, the Arctic Circle now. And then I'm going over, I'm like up in Scandinavia, and somebody in Norway says, "Dang, this land is your land." And I'm thinking, well, they probably got some kind of Norwegian version up here. No, and it's, I can't even pronounce the words. I can't even look at them. It doesn't make any sense. And I said, no, just sing it regular. Thank you. And it reminded me of the time my mom, during the 80s, had gone over to China. Before they shipped all the jobs over there, they were having like diplomatic exchange and cultural exchange. My mom had been a dancer with the Martha Graham Company, and so, you know, she was invited to go over there because she was artistic and all that. She goes over. She comes back. She says, "Arlo, I was in the middle of China. They brought out some school kids, and they started singing us some songs, and they started singing, 'This land is your land.'" I said, "Stop the song. My husband wrote that song." She must have drove them nuts. She was driving me nuts about it. It was weeks after she got back. She had not slowed down one little bit. And I just looked at her. I said, "Mom, what are they singing it for over there?" I mean, you know, California, New York Island. She just looked at me with one of those mom kind of looks. She said, "Oh, Arlo." She walked away. And I was left standing there feeling like my usual self. I knew she's right, I just didn't know why. And then it come to me. I could see it just because it said California to the New York Island. Didn't mean it had to go the short way. I could see it going around back. Maybe up over the top or something like that. And then the whole world could be singing that song. Except America. I remember when I had that thought for the first time. I realized I didn't know any more after thinking than before I'd begun. But I never let it stop me. I remember when I learned this song, I was in the 5th grade, actually, when I discovered civil disobedience. I became an activist. It occurred to me one day that homework was wrong. A morally bankrupt concept. Regular working people, you know, and I grew up in that union household, you know, regular working people weren't expected to continue working when they got home. Why would it be different for kids? Where were those union guys when I wanted them? So I just quit doing it. My mom appreciated the philosophy, just not the conclusion. She took me out of that school, put me in a progressive school the very next day so I could progress. I walked into the new school, all the kids were standing up that morning singing my father's song, "This land is your land." I was the only one there who didn't know the words. Nobody told me that stuff was famous outside our house. And when you're a kid, you don't think of stuff like that. So I was running home at the end of the day, tears in my eyes. I told my father what happened. He made me bring him this little guitar he had given me on my 5th birthday, which I still have. And he taught me the chords. And he taught me the verses. When I had that much done, he taught me some verses that wasn't in the school book version. So when I went back the next day, I went back armed. I've been singing this song ever since. I don't generally sing all the verses to him. You can look them up if you're interested. But let me sing you the last one he ever taught me, the last one I learned. 50, 60 years ago, whatever it was. And I'm thinking about all the people out on the streets, especially all young people trying to occupy places here and there, you know, to make the world a little bit better, a little more fair or whatever. People in the Middle East taking their lives in their hands out there on the streets just to make the world a little bit better over there. I'm sure if my dad was around, he'd be out there with them, out there on the streets. That's where he liked to be, in the middle of the action where people would change things, stand up for what they thought. I'll leave this verse with you and sing it with all those people in mind. Nobody living can ever stop me as I go walking my freedom highway. Nobody living can make me turn back. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, and this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. This land is your land, and this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. Thank you very much.